Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today we are looking at the SwiftWind Scout Car. The SwiftWind, built by In- Indicus on Cirrus Metals, or by Cirrus Metals, is a one-person scout car designed for the Compellian Confederation Armed Forces. Thanks to its fast speed and advanced communication gear, the SwiftWind can get the scout to where he or she needs to be and get out of there just as quickly, all while relaying information to their commanders wherever they may be, uh, where the other competitors had submitted inexpensive designs. Cirrus Metals won the bid by going all out and incorporating as much advanced technology as they could fit into the car. Since this first introduction, Cirrus has made sure to update the SwiftWind's components as advances in technology are made, but the basic design has remained the same ever since. Very few swift winds are found outside of the compelling Confederation or the short lived St. Ives Compact. In 3039, there were believed to be only a few dozen such foreign swift winds, most belonging to mercenary units who had served the Confederation well. Let's see, weapons and equipment. The Swift Wind has no weapons to speak of. It is, however, equipped with 2 tons of powerful communications equipment that can prove to be more deadly than any weapon. The large receiving transmitting dish, which can collapse and fold into the car's roof in a matter of seconds, allows the Swift Wind to send data transmissions in voice or code at incredible range, bouncing signals off of orbiting satellites to contact any unit on the planet or even directly to a jump ship sitting at a standard jump point. This allows a swift wind scout to scout a planet without alerting the enemy to the main force's presence and serve as an effective forward observer for artillery and aerospace units. The same equipment also allows the SwiftWind to eavesdrop on enemy communication signals, relying or relaying their messages to friendly forces or using their transmissions to track up their locations. Enemy intercepts and satellite imagery can be combined to create a three-dimensional holomap which projects from the dashboard of the scout car. The scout doesn't. Kitty. Yeah, I know. Sorry, got a cat climbing my chair. All right. The enemy intercepts the satellite. Uh, Enemy intercepts and satellite imagery can be combined to create three-dimensional holomap, which projects from the dashboard of the scout car. The scout doesn't even have to be in the car to use the communication equipment, as it has a handheld control device with earphone and microphone, which allows them to leave the vehicle while still utilizing the communication systems. The remote system does have a 1,200-meter range limit and must maintain a line of sight to work, however. Uh, truth, True to its name, the Swift Wind is quick with a top speed of 162 kilometers an hour, the cruising speed of 108 kilometers an hour, thanks to the GM60 Fusion engine. Each of its 6 wheels feature radial tires, are independently powered by the engine, have independent suspensions, and provide high ground clearance, allowing the Scout car to race over a variety of terrains. In order to get the most from its speed, the Swift Winds features a scaled down neural helmet that allows the driver to use the sense of balance to make minor corrections. The helmet also allows the driver to view the surrounding area with a wide angle of vision and a variety of vision modes, such as infrared. In the event the swift wind does run into trouble, 1.5 tons of armor provide enough protection to shrug off moderate damage until the car can escape the danger. It also features a cargo bay with storage for 500 kilograms of gear. So we do only have 3 variants of this. Not as long listed as the mechs that we've been covering so far. So we do have an ICE engine. So from 2841, Cirrus uh, also produced a cheaper version for of their vehicle for customers with limited budgets. The change in the internal combustion engine eliminated the cargo bay because of the increased weight of the engine. We have an ICE cargo variant in 2845. The version of the Swift reduces the top speed of the cargo of the car to 120 kilometers an hour, which allows for a smaller engine. 3 tons of cargo space is available in the unit, but this takes up all the room um, liberated to the engine. Liberated by the engine swap and requires the removal of the communications equipment. Now we have an ICE speed. This Swift modification of 2891 reduces the armor protection to 1/2 ton, removes the communications equipment, and increases the top speed of the unit to 171 kilometers an hour. The higher top speed requires a much larger engine, but the protection offered by the high speed is worth it. So that's what we get here from Wikipedia. The nice thing is just like I've said before, they've got whoever's been doing this, they've got all the different variants where I've got to go typically from one book to another book to another book, um, and this is a simpler vehicle, which is why we're kind of doing it today, mixing it up instead of just hitting all the mechs at once and then getting into all the vehicles and all that. We'll kind of hit and hit around in the book, um, trying to make sure that we kind of break things up just a little bit. So, one of the nice things is this is the original picture, and we do see it's from Luce, as he's the one that did a lot of the drawing early on for FASA as we were going through all of these. And then we do have troops on patrol with the Swift. So this is it, or not folded, or not unfolded, I should say, with a couple troops around it. It doesn't say exactly how many people it can carry. I'm gonna guess you're gonna have one person driving and one passenger. Um, that way, if you are having a cargo variant or something like that, it can look like it's a standard vehicle, something that looks a little bit more common. I mean, it's going to have its own unique shape and all that, but just the fact that we have a regular vehicle running around doesn't trigger anybody's thought to say, hey, this is enemy forces, which helps for the espionage version of this or take on it. Because now instead of looking for a mech, you're looking for a car. And especially if you can throw in an ICE engine of sorts, even if it's slower, so you can still have all your communications equipment in there, it still gives you that ability to try and blend in with everything else. All right, with that being said, let's switch on over and see what we have for a D6 stats. All right, so looking at what we have here, this is going to be at speed or scale. Length is going to be about 7.62 meters, which comes out to about 20 feet. Not sure exactly how long this should really be. I figured 20 feet. That's about a standard truck. That might make it about right. So maybe I'm a little off. If I am, I do apologize. I do have a crew of one, and like I was saying before, I figured if you're going to have a crew of one, you probably have enough room side by side, so maybe one passenger as well. I did transfer the cost over here, which I have not done on the other mechs that we have hit so far. So we do have a cost of 54,469 C bills. If we take this into a big mashed up universe, which I'm hoping to try and do at some point, we will have to figure out how we're going to do all this stuff. Although, to look at it in this regard, and please, bear with me on this, I might even keep it at that cost because this has got a ton of communications equipment on board. I might still warrant having something like that for an old fashioned wheeled vehicle. And however the universe goes in however I mash it up. So just leaving it there in that regard. We do have cargo capacity of 500 kilograms. I do have a full coverage here. Um, of course, it's going to be a ground vehicle, maneuverability. Um, I grabbed a Star Wars kind of quick speeder transport vehicle of sorts. Just trying to come up with how things should kind of go. So they had a maneuverability of 2D+2. I figured this should be pretty comparable to that, which is why I had grabbed that one to try and bounce things off of thoughts. Whoops, and I have a different speed here. Because I think I grabbed it off the other one. The one that I was looking at from the Star Wars is 200 kilometers an hour, but ours is going at 162. So we got to get that changed. So we do have a maneuverability of 2D+2. We have a speed of 162 kilometers an hour, and a body strength being a. Oops, trying to make her a one nut and bold. All right, a 1D+2, or there are a total of 24 points, or pips of armor on here, divided between all four locations. So one of the things I've been doing, if you've noticed or listened to it before, is I'm putting 24 armor points on here. One of the things I like doing when I'm doing the role playing game to speed it up a little bit, usually for the enemies, I will just give it a assigned amount of armor or health or whatever. Okay, it just makes it a little bit faster to go against the enemies, so I can get the battle over and done with, and get our group into whatever other mischief that we get into. So, as a role playing game, I think that that would be great. Now, I've said it before. The idea behind this is if we could take Battletech, first alert, weather update, as my phone yells at me, take Battletech, Mech Warrior. We had Mech Warrior, Mech Warrior 2 as a role playing game. It worked, but it was a little clunky because everyone wants to get into the mechs and the vehicles and everything else. And trying to work it back and forth, from all my memory of it, it worked, but it wasn't the best. Um, so what I'm hoping is, because D6 is a very nice system, we do have all the different scales. We can just put everything into a D6 as a role playing game. Now, if I was going to play BattleTech, I would leave it as a regular BattleTech. It works wonderful. Just looking at it as a just fun, let's do this as a big mashup galaxy um, with everything else that I've been doing. If you watch the other videos, all that may very well end up in the same universe. I've got some thoughts kicking around in my little pea-sized brain here, and I'd love to get it going. But I've been talking about this for years, as one of my friends has mentioned, and at some point we're going to get it going. But in the meantime, it's all the fun of just putting all this stuff here. Hopefully, it's stuff that you guys enjoy, or at least just enjoy listening to an oddball like me just kind of ramble on. But either way, it is fun coming up with this, and fun for the thought of just getting a huge universe and see where we go. So, with that being said, thank you so very much for joining me today. It's wonderful having you here. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.